Hi, Scott Lackman, 4510 TV, a community worth watching. Today, viewers, very excited, a little bit nervous standing in the ring with this fellow, Isaac Hardman, champion boxer from Caboolture. How you going, Isaac?
Very good. Thanks for having me, mate. Thanks for coming out and giving me the time and the platform.
It's a pleasure. You're an excitable lad, and I want to share with our viewers of Caboolture that you're a Caboolture boy through and through, but you're rising through the ranks. Tell us firstly about your boxing career and where you are today.
Yeah, boxing career is really shot off. Previous to boxing, I was a professional MMA fighter. So from 2015 through to 2018, I was a professional MMA fighter and very successful there with 3 Australian titles, and had an injury, reset some goals, and that's where I got the opportunity to cross over to boxing. And a man named Dean Lonergan, who's promoted some of the biggest fights in the world, some here in Australia, the Horn Pacquiao, he promoted Parker and Anthony Joshua as well. He picked me up and asked me to sign a deal with the boxers. And, it's all my fights are live on Foxtel and KO and pay-per-view, so it's a really good platform to build my brand and get my name out there. And, it's been a quick journey to where I am sitting now, but it's been enjoyable, and it's still happening. But, we're doing the right things and taking the right steps in the right direction to get where we want to go.
You're a professional boxer. Where's your stats at the moment?
Professional boxer, I'm 8-0 with 6 knockout finishes, 4 of them in the first round. I've got the Australian title at middleweight, so middleweight 72.5 kilos. I've also got an IBF and a WBO World Regional title, so that's just the Pan-Pacific region. And sure, I'm sanctioned with the IBF and the WBO, which is 2 of the main 4 sanctioning bodies in the boxing world. I'm sitting at number 15 in both of them, so top 15 in the world. We're 8 fights in. And overall, there's a website called BoxRec, and I'm sitting at number 37 in the world out of all the active middleweights. So, sitting pretty, considering I'm not a boxer, apparently, and only a kid that can punch, but I'm doing pretty well, and I'm proving a lot of people wrong.
Most definitely. We'll get to your next fight in a minute. Where I want to go with the story today, Isaac, let's get a bit of hope and a bit of faith to the kids in Caboolture. Sure. You grew up in Caboolture. Give us that quick rundown.
Yeah, Caboolture through and through. Like you said, I actually grew up in D-Bay from like 1 to 7. I was a D-Bay boy, and then I migrated to Caboolture, so I've had it tough. People from the area will know Deception Bay, Caboolture, those areas, can be rough, and 20 years ago they were. But I was moved around. I only did the math the other day. I lived in 14 houses in the span of 7 years, so I was always moving. Single parent mum. I lost dad when I was 14 to pancreas cancer, so it was my 2 brothers' mum, and we're constantly moving around. Mum was constantly changing jobs. I was constantly changing high schools. But I've been around the traps of Caboolture, like Wallace Street, Torrens Road, I lived on the other side of the train tracks, down near Kaz's Corner, the wood station down there. I lived all around Caboolture, and I'm proud of where I come from. Like I said to you before, good people come out of Caboolture. Like, it's got this stigma that, it's rough, and it is. But there's, not the nicest things come out of Caboolture, and there's no hopers there. But I'm telling you now, we got some good things. There's something in the water out at Caboolture. And I said that before because, there were some of the guys in Caboolture coming out of Caboolture doing some big things. So I'm proud.
Let's talk. There's a young fella watching today. He's at school. He's struggling. Maybe a not so good home life. What would you say to a young fella at the moment? And
just keep on keeping on. Find yourself you are a product of who you surround yourself with, and get a good mate that'll want to bring you up, or and even the community at Caboolture is so giving. I couldn't pay my footy fees when I was down at Caboolture Snakes, and the waterman or whatever, the coach there would just slide me in, or here's the $10 for your game fees. Even at school, I couldn't pay, I was in a home ec class. I couldn't pay for the groceries we had to bring to school to cook the food. My teacher would give me that money to go get the groceries. That's what I mean. It goes back to there's good people in Caboolture, but as a young fella growing up in Caboolture, you gotta, there's definitely some wrong roads you can go down in Caboolture, and you got to steer clear of them. Just know that there is bad things, and that's the thing everywhere. There's good and bad in every suburb, community. But find the good, and find something you're really passionate about, and just really get into it and go for it. Yeah, that's my best advice.
Isaac, let's talk about the next fight. Canberra,
Yeah.
Run through it. What's the title, mate?
Yeah, the Capital. I've never fought there, so it's another tick in the right box. I'm defending my IBF and WBO titles against a guy named Mark Lucas, who's a very well credentialed boxer. He's 10-2, represented Australia at the Commonwealth Games. He's only ever lost to a guy named who was it? Sam Solomon for a version of a world title, and he lost to another bloke. I can't remember, but anyway, he's a great boxer. And he stepped up to the plate. He's been inactive for 12 months, but he stepped straight up to the plate, not needing a tune-up fight like some of these other boxers. And yeah, wants to get it done. It'll be a tough contest. It'll bring out the best in me because he's a very good boxer. And I box well against the good boxers instead of a scruffy, rough fight. Yeah.
Isaac, the nickname Head Splitter. Did you split someone's head, mate?
At footy, yeah. It sort of come from my footy days back at Morayfield High and I was in the excellence program, and I went in head first and split the head open, and it was the hard hitting head splitting hard, and it sort of had a ring to it. So I always told everyone, and people will back me in this, like I always said I'd be in the UFC, I'd be fighting or doing something like this, and sure enough, I'm here now, and I couldn't change it. All the boys back in Caboolture and back at home knew me as the head splitter, so there's no way I was going to change it.
Fair enough.
So that's where it come from.
Now, when you're a professional athlete, obviously, you need money to get to these fights, to travel, to
Absolutely.
equipment, etc., etc.
Yeah.
You've got some sponsors that have come on board early in your career.
Yep.
Bit of a shout out down the camera, mate. If there's a business, Northside, Brisbane, Caboolture, getting behind Isaac, what's your shout out, mate?
Yeah, for sure. It's a very demanding profession, and I do still work here at Nitro Boxing, but I pay my coach and, like you said, equipment, and it is taxing. For the amount of time we put into this sport, we don't get paid what we deserve. We're doing one of the hardest sports in the world, and we're getting paid pennies. So I'd love for someone back in Caboolture, like a family-owned business. I'm from Caboolture. I love Caboolture. I go back there to visit my mum, to get on board, and hopefully we can bring up Caboolture and leave it a better place than we first had it. So that's what it's about, leaving a legacy, is leaving the place you come from better than you had it. So that's what I want to do for the next generation and the young fellas coming up, is give Caboolture the respect it deserves, for sure, 100%.
Spot on. Get on board, as we do on 450 TV. We'll have some links how to get in touch with Isaac, follow his page, follow his videos, and follow his journey. 8 wins out of 8.
Yeah.
And
all the way to a world title, I guarantee it.
all the way to a world title. So get on to his sponsorship now. What I'm going to do, mate, is in my back pocket, from my family to yours, $500, mate.
Oh, wow. Shit. Wow.
And yeah,
I said good people come out of Caboolture, mate.
so
Far out.
hopefully that helps with something.
Holy dooly, yeah, it will. Far out.
All right, and follow his journey. World champion one day from Caboolture, but I reckon he's a champion already for coming out of the ground. And if you can help, jump on board. Isaac Hardman, the head splitter.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Far out.
All about Cabo, man. 45 stand, bro.